Let us solve a question from directions. So this is the question. A man is facing north. He turns east and walks for 4 kilometers. He then turns south and walks 4 kilometers. He repeats this process 2 more times. What is the distance between his starting and ending point? So we have 4 options here. So let us start. So let us imagine that the person is standing here and this is north. So he's facing north. Now this fellow turns eastwards. So this is east. So the person turns eastwards. So he turns this way and walks 4 kilometers. So I'll write 4 kilometers. The person moves from this point to this point. Let us call this as A. Now after reaching this point, he turns southwards. So it is downwards. So he moves downwards, that is southwards, and he covers 4 kilometers in this way. So let us assume that he stops here and he covered 4 kilometers east and 4 kilometers south. Then he repeats this process 2 more times. That means he covers east and goes to south. He covers east and goes south. So in total, this is the distance covered by the man. And finally, he stops here. This is the ending point. I'll call this B. Now the question is, what is the distance from A to B? And we need to find it. So what I do is I connect this A to B using a straight line. Now if I find the length of this line from A to B, I get the final answer. So how do I find it? Now if you see this particular region, so I'll call this as D. If you see this line acts as a hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. And I'm telling you that this is a right angle triangle because the angle here is 90. The question doesn't talk about the angle, but in directions, whenever you take a turn, you should make sure that the angle is 90. So this is 90 degree and you have a right angle triangle. And here, this and this sides are equal. That means this is isosceles right angle triangle. So we learned in our previous video that for an isosceles right angle triangle, when perpendicular and base are equal, then the hypotenuse can be derived easily. Suppose if the perpendicular and base are x, then hypotenuse is x root 2 units. So we can apply the same the principle here, and since it is 4 and 4, we get the hypotenuse as 4 root 2. Same thing happens for this and this also. Now the lengths of hypotenuse are 4 root 2, 4 root 2 and 4 root 2. Now the total length from A to B is 3 times 4 root 2. That means AB is 3 times 4 root 2 kilometers. So the answer is 12 root 2 kilometers. So the distance from starting to ending point is 12 root 2 kilometers.